find your lack of faith disturbing.
Gotcha!
Smashmouth footballers.
Wait, we got a dream next to the team. Yeah, we can handle it. Wait, soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call
Introducing.
They know what it is, know what I do.
Nick Tate.
Who don't understand? Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue. My ring.
Joe Caldero.
Yeah, they know it's true. They couldn't walk a mile or even fit
Chad Young.
my shoes. Still I got a lot to prove, but for all that we've been through, this overdue. This the anthem.
Hi, my name's Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
And the Shadowlack.
Hey, we're Smashmouth Footballers. Today we're going to go over draft strategies and hopefully help you win your league this year. Recently, we were offering a Marvin Mims jersey at 300 subscribers, and we're going to be able to give that away. We currently are at 345 subscribers, and in an upcoming video, we're going to announce that winner. That one of our lucky subscribers is going to get that jersey, and hopefully soon someone will be able to give away that jersey at 500. There's two of them.
Yep.
2 jerseys at 750, and we're going to give away 2 jerseys at 1,000.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're actually going to get a tumbler, so it's all fair. And if you like that, we're going to give away. We're all fanboys in a certain way, whether it be sports, Star Wars, memorabilia of any kind. It's one of our hobbies. You know, we're all middle-aged men. That's kind of what we do. So please stay here. Come get some free stuff.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Yep.
So, all right, starting off with our draft strategies. I mean, it's a really big key thing that initially where you're going to be drafting at.
Right.
What kind of league you're in. So if you're in a PPR league, standard league, half PPR, best ball, stuff like that, you need to know what your point systems are. So with a PPR, you're looking for players that catch the ball because you get a point for every time they catch the ball. And in a standard league, you're looking for players that you're going to get those touchdowns. You're looking for running backs, running quarterbacks.
Clear number ones.
Yeah.
Clear number ones. So knowing your point system prior to entering the draft means a lot because each player has a different value depending on what kind of game you're playing.
Yeah, you got to know your rules. So know the rules of the league you're going into. Know if it's 16, 17, how many rounds are you drafting? These are all things you have to consider. Like you don't play Monopoly without knowing the rules, right? Like, how do you win if you don't know the rules? Same thing in your fantasy football team. Like, just real common sense stuff. And leagues used to be very simple. It used to be PPR. It used to be standard. Touchdown only leagues were huge for a while there. Right. And now you got super flexes with where you have to draft 3 quarterbacks or dynasty leagues. I'm in a dynasty league. Then you have you got best ball leagues if you just want to go compete with each other on a day.
Daily. They even do daily.
Yeah, you have to know your rules. So go in there. No, we got super tight ends now. That's a new thing where it's a point and a half for a tight end reception. Yeah, and know your rules. So that's key number 1. Like, before you go in there, know your rules.
I guess somebody got tired of playing with tight ends or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they're so weak.
Yeah.
Had to do something to keep them on the board.
If it wasn't Travis Kelce. Yeah.
And look, like, another thing, like, don't get crazy about it. Like we all play for money, but we can afford to lose it. Like, nobody go out there and give their child's college, savings away to go draft a kicker. Be better than that. Draft a quarterback.
Round 1.
Yeah, round one. In my league.
Right.
So also, going into the next step, make sure you know what your draft positions are. All right. So knowing if you're in the top of the draft, the bottom of the draft, and sometimes I know there are guys that don't pick their draft position until the draft day. So the thing is once you get that draft position, you want to be able to mock draft. All right. So we have plenty of apps out there nowadays. This is 2024, right? So, I mean, there are so many things. The one we like using is Sleeper. So you can go into Sleeper and you could pick what kind of league. So I'm playing PPR. You put in PPR, mock draft, boom. It's going to give you the right matchups, what ADP positions players should be at. then you could go in there and put in standard, and it'll rearrange the players so that you know what players have better value in a standard league versus a PPR, half PPR, so forth, so on.
You got to know your strategy. You got to have it before you go in. I've used the same strategy 15, 18 years, however long. Believe in your strategy. Find one that fits you, and don't sway from it because it'll just confuse the heck out of you.
Well, on top of that, it makes you miserable, right? If you try something new, if you try something you're not confident in, and you don't get a player that you knew you should have gotten because you went rogue all of a sudden, you'll be miserable for the rest of your playing season.
So
when people do that, every time we have a draft, people are like, "Oh man, who just got drafted? Who got?" You know that they swayed from their strategy.
I hate to wax philosophical about this, but this is one of the things where we don't need to look up data much.
Right.
But you do about draft position and everything. Number 8 in a 12-team league has statistically the worst chance to win. So draft position plays a key. Okay. Like, we're not just saying this to say this. Like, hey, especially if you're like number 7 and number 9 in a 12-team league, you better go do your homework and start looking, because round 1 is going to be the anchor of your team. Hey, so you got to nail that. And so you're going to have the Christian McCaffreys. Like, you don't need anybody to tell you Christian McCaffrey's good and CeeDee Lamb's good and Tyreek Hill's good. But there is going to be a point where you've got to make a decision between Breece Hall or AJ Brown or something like that. You need from 8 to 12. Like you think fantasy football is a marathon, but you can get it wrong right there. You can get it wrong immediately.
Your first 2 rounds, if you pick the first 2 rounds wrong, you're done.
That's your backbone. That's your, like, you can get winners like later on, but your backbone is 1, 2, 3 rounds. And don't just go, look, this is something that aggravates me. How do y'all feel about, I'm going to go no wide receiver, I'm going to go no running back strategy?
I would shoot myself in the face.
Or no wide receiver strategy.
There's no way.
And how many rounds does that dictate? Like, how many rounds are you going to go without drafting that?
If you go 0 RB, that's 4 rounds to 5 rounds.
Can I tell you something? Why, in a world of indulgences, would I just choose not to? Why would I choose to give something up? I'm just going to not draft running backs.
So I've thought about this.
I've
heard of these strategies. I don't play these strategies. I've entertained them. I'm thinking, let me gobble up all the running backs, and then I could trade for the wide receivers that I want. That not necessarily goes out that way, because everybody gets a round 2 pick. Everybody gets a round 3 pick. You cannot gobble up enough running backs or wide receivers that's going to stop me from to the point where, you know what, I'm going to give you my Justin Jefferson for your Jahmyr Gibbs, or I'm going to give you this, because when I draft, so, and these guys, I'm pretty sure they're pretty much on the same page, right? So if I have it round 1 in my mind, I know no matter what you pick, that I'm going to get Jahmyr Gibbs. And I'm just making this up. This is based off of what, just a running back in general. Breece Hall. Okay, I picked Breece Hall, right? You can't stop me from getting him in round 1. Round 2, you cannot stop me from getting David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs, because I could dig deeper. If I see someone like that acting stupid, I can dig deeper to get a good running back and still steal away all the good wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's ridiculous. Why? This is fantasy football. Like, let's not overthink it.
Yep.
You're putting up your money, and you're going to go on a rogue strategy that stops you from doing something. Hey, you are supposed to, like, if you're running a real football team, you want the best player available to win. Hey, I'm commissioner. I'm going to go in my little fantasy war room, and I'm going to go get the best player available. And I'm not just going to, and look, I love the people that go to they come to the draft and they got their little magazine, Fantasy Football, and they go by the rankings. Like, thank you for showing up, because you did not go into dynamic stats, next gen stats. You didn't go into any of that. Thank you for showing up. Like, that guy saw Devin Achane blow up. Hey, draft. He doesn't know that all those points came in
2 games.
Yeah, 3 games. He didn't know.
Yep.
Yeah, like thank you for showing up, bro.
The magazine was printed 3 months
3
ago.
months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then Devin Achane just got an ankle injury at practice yesterday, and he's out for the season.
they don't, and there's like, you go do your own homework. Go do a mock draft.
Mock drafts are the backbone of
Fantasy.
beating the system because I'll give you a good example. I have been mock drafting for over a month, okay, based off of 1 or 2 positions that I know that I'll draft from. I draft over and over and over and over because I either draft with people that's going to draft or draft with a computer that randomly picks one. But it gives me an idea where my draft window is. It lets me know that come round 2, I'm going to see Josh Jacobs. I'm going to see Jalen Waddle. I'm going to see these people. These are my consistencies that I know that out of these 5 people, I'm going to be able to say, okay, I'm going to have these options 90% of the time. And if I don't have one, I still have 4 out of 5.
Unserious players will not be on those. They don't take the time.
No, they're not going to pay attention to that.
And here's
I'll take their money.
Here's another thing, right? So, and I'll go. We've talked about it in previous episodes and stuff like that. You know, the quarterback depth is a lot deeper than what it used to be. It used to be, man, look, if you didn't get a premier quarterback in the first 2 to 3 rounds or the first 2 to 3 quarterbacks, you were trying to figure out a way to dominate with running backs and wide receivers only because they were just that far ahead of everybody. Now, you've got 8 to 10 quarterbacks that can throw the same point percentages almost 90% of the time. So your weakest point in the draft is going to be your running backs. Your wide receiver depth is phenomenal. Okay. So
Tight ends is pretty weak, but it's weak every year.
It's so
You know
here's
that.
another thing. As you mock draft and as you make decisions and you decide where you want to bet, who you want to pick up and where, if you're not getting a Sam Laporta, a Mark Andrews, or a Travis Kelce, find you a tight end that you can pick up in round 8 or round 9 or round 6 or 7 that you're happy with.
Evan Ingram and
Evan
Joku.
Ingram.
Evan Ingram and Joku.
Like
Ferguson.
Like all touchdowns and receptions is something nobody thinks about. Nobody ever knows. But he sit there and he's going to be there around 9, 10, 11, and why not take him? You have to understand when you're in your draft, like not every draft is different. Every draft is different. You have to be flexible in your draft. That's why I don't believe in I'm going in no wide receiver. I'm going in no running back. No, every draft is different. And you will go into a draft and you may have a plan, and that plan can get screwed up immediately because positional. He's talking about this, like wide receivers are deep, running backs not so much. So there is position scarcity, and there will be times when you're like, oh, I got this plan. Like round 2 on the turn, I'm coming here. He's going to be available. I'm going to get him. Next thing you know, there's a run on running backs, and it's like if I don't get one, I'm gonna.
You better be able to adjust.
You better, yeah. If I don't get, there'll be a run on running backs or tight ends, like 4th or 5th round.
There's always a run on tight end.
Yeah, you're going to watch it.
One of my favorites is around round 7 or 8, and this is funny because this is when you know you're ahead of the game. Someone will pick a defense.
Yeah.
And then the next guy will pick a defense. And the next guy will pick a defense.
Please go do it.
And then that's when you are able to gobble up those good players because they decided to go on this tear to get kickers or defenses in round 7. And now that tight end you want is available.
Right.
That running back that you thought you couldn't get is there.
So my strategy that I've used forever is 2 running backs.
Round 1 or 2.
Every year, everybody knows I'm doing it every year, no matter what. I don't care if they go on a run of wide receivers or quarterbacks. I'm doing it every year, right? Ever since LaDainian Tomlinson, Edgerrin James, ever since Larry Johnson. That's a long time ago, man.
Yep.
So I do it every year, but I know the formula in my head. You have to have a formula. I'm taking 2 running backs, and then I'm going to get the best available wide receiver. Best available wide receiver for what I need. If I have 2 bell cow running backs with touchdown potential, I'm looking for a receiver that is a pure number 1 on a team that is going to throw the ball nonstop. Okay, like Green Bay or Kansas City or someone like that. that's going to throw the ball nonstop. I don't look at a tight end until the 7th round. Don't really care what tight end I get. If I get Dalton Kincaid, if I get Evan Ingram.
See, I'm a little different. Like I will go into it. Like I don't have a strategy. So like I'm going to sit there and I let the best players fall to me. And there's players I like more than others because I do my homework. Now I've gotten to where like caveman fantasy football is like, there's still guys that like, I go to the drafts and they're talking about handcuffing. And I'm like, my God, man, like that shouldn't, good for you. And if he gets hurt, awesome. And you got a lot of rookies backing up this year. You may find a good handcuff like what's going on in Los Angeles with the Rams. But you have to look at it this way. Like I'm looking at stacking this year just because there's about 4 or 5 offenses that are just way ahead of the game. But I'm not going to be stupid about it. Like I'm not going to go take a backup running back in a handcuff in the 10th or 11th round when I'll have Ezekiel Elliott there, who is a number 1 in a prolific offense. Like these are things you got to think about. You can't go in closed-minded like I'm going to get him and then I'm going to go get Blake Corum because if he gets hurt, I got a handcuff. Why don't you go get a number 1 running back on a good offense, especially that late? Like you have to be flexible. Let the draft come to you. Don't go in with a strategy because your strategy it'll be gone. Your strategy will be gone on the first run or the first anything.
I stay tried and true to the strategy. You play different than I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I will only draft 1 tight end. I will not draft a defense. I will not draft a kicker. I get them off the waiver wire before the season starts. I will if I'm doomed to have to draft Ramondre Stevenson, I'm getting Antonio Gibson as a handcuff because we don't know
who's going to be running the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I can get him in the place of a kicker or in the place of a.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't want either. Like I just don't want either one of them. But yeah. I mean,
you might be doomed to that.
But hey,
later in the draft,
I can't say that. Hey, I might come to where like, hey, Ramondre Stevens is still there in the 11th round. I'd be an idiot not to take him.
Right.
A number 1 wide receiver, a number 1 running back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take him all day.
This is what we're saying. You find a strategy that works for you, and stick to it.
Yeah, I guess.
The key is homework, right? So the key is knowing what they got going on currently, what they did last year, how the team has developed over the last couple of years, and what you feel like they're going to be going forward. And also being like Chad saying you ought to be able to adjust. So here, this is kind of my strategy, right? So I've got 1 league. I've already been told I'm number 2 in that league. In that league, you have Christian McCaffrey is going to be ADP number 1, and CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, so forth, so on. I'm like Joe. I like to pick running backs 1-2 punch, but in that situation, I know the guy number 1 is going to get Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I feel like that CeeDee Lamb has a higher value than another running back right there. But my plan is that next is to get CeeDee Lamb in round 2 and 3. I'm going to get 2 more running backs right there. Bam, bam.
So you're going to do best available.
Best available at that point. Now I prefer to go running back. But I feel like I would be a fool because I've played this strategy where I've mock draft over and over and over, and I've reached down and I've gotten Jonathan Taylor. And then on the way back up, I got Kyren Williams. And then I ended up with Jalen Waddle. But I've also gone to where I've gotten CeeDee Lamb, Kyren Williams, and then I've got Derrick Henry.
Say I've got the 8th pick. Okay. Say I've got the 8th pick.
Right.
Breece Hall's there for me.
You got him.
That's
great. Then we make the turn. And Jonathan Taylor's there for me.
Gotcha.
I take that all day long.
All day long.
Yeah, all day long. I don't know. I got the 7th pick in Bradshaw's league, and I was looking at it, and I'm just like, I hope Breece or Bijan falls to me.
Right.
That's all I'm looking for. Like, I hope one of them fall to me.
Well, I mean, y'all, and
then if they don't, I'm going to take Jamar Chase. I've got a plan, but if they're gone, I've got to pivot.
So there's really only one player that would make me change my strategy, and that's Garrett Wilson.
In the second round.
And it may be
the second round.
Yeah, it may be
in the second round.
But here's the thing. Also knowing your league, knowing how your people play, knowing how people think, you can even talk these people into getting who you feel like they should pick up. So I've had people in our leagues that are going to pick a quarterback round one. So as I do my draft strategy, as I practice, I already realize that guy on number 5, he's going to get Patrick Mahomes. He can't help himself because he in his mind, he is determined that if he doesn't get Pat Mahomes, he can't play this year. Like he won't even look at his football team this year. So that gives us another window. That drops all the ADP of the people in that league. So number 5 would be Jamar Chase. So now Jamar Chase is available to the guy in the 6th pick. So is Justin Jefferson. So is Bijan Robinson. Going into where Chad's talking about, that almost instantaneously falls Bijan right down to 7th.
I'll take it
all day long.
Yep.
Right. Also, you got guys where you can kind of push them and nudge them. I mean, it should be fun when you're drafting. You should be talking crap to each other.
Shrinking.
That guy's still there, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
There's guys that I've known for a fact. I've done this at least 3 times where when I realized it happened, where I would say, all right, I'm going to get Garrett Wilson. I'm just talking to myself, right? Garrett Wilson's coming. I'm going to get it. And the guy who's in the pick before me, he hears me, and he's the guy with the magazine. Okay. Yeah. Garrett Wilson, getting Garrett Wilson. I'm going to get Garrett Wilson. So now
he'll steal it just to do it.
He'll do it because he feels like that's the better pick. So what do I do at that? Now, I play like as soon as I see one of them guys that's ear hustling me. Oh man.
Chris Godwin is still out.
I heard Devontae Adams. I heard they were going to get.
I heard he's putting him in the slot.
I heard they
put him back in the slot.
I heard they're going to do this. I heard they're going to get this quarterback. I mean, you know what? I can't. They don't know about Devontae Adams. And who does he pick? Devontae Adams. Thank you. All right. Let me go ahead and get Garrett Wilson.
Or be real heartless. Be like, man, dude, I wanted Kelsey, but he tore his ACL, dude. Yeah. Like, man, what am I going to do? Like, dude, these dudes don't know anything. This is their 3.5 hour from their wife, bro. Like, you just destroy their hopes.
And honestly, if you're watching us help you win your league right now, there's a guy out there who ain't watching us, and he's at home changing the channel on TV.
Yeah. Watching the Olympics.
He's going to donate that $150, that $75, that $50 to you at the end of your season.
Yeah.
Watching 90 Day Fiancé.
He's watching fencing. You are going to have to, regardless, every draft, you're going to have to take some risks. Like if you want to win, you can go safe. Guess what? Safe is not going to win your league. All right. I like to go safe early, but you're going to have to start throwing some darts at some heroes like the Puka Nakuas last year. Hey, those guys who picked Puka Nakua last year won. You're going to have to go throw some darts. And the Devin Achains, like people won leagues because of those games he played, because of those big games. Like, hey, and you're going to have to go take risks. And when you do that, that's when you got to do your homework. Because you got to look at injuries. Mm-hmm. Your team's going to get hurt. There's going to be somebody on your team that's going to get hurt. All right. You got to know what you're going to do next. You're going to have to take a chance on some rookies. Hey, and they got some good ones coming.
Talking about taking chances. The Chargers. You don't know who's going to be catching that ball on that team.
Ladd McConkey.
Josh Palmer.
Oh, no. Everybody's so high on him.
You see where I'm going with this? So now
y'all go get
They got a quarterback. Don't get me wrong. They have a quarterback. If you can sneak one of them players away that you think that's going to be the guy, and everybody's overlooking Ladd McConkey. Everybody's overlooking this person or that person, right? Josh Palmer, all that. And let's say Joe Jackson.
Yeah, who's he play for? Who's he play for, bro?
Let's say Joe Josh Palmer in round 15, and nobody's like, oh man, it's going to be Ladd McConkey the whole time, and then come out he got him.
I haven't lost anything.
He hasn't lost anything, but he's won a lot.
Yep. You're gonna have to take some risks.
Jonathan Brooks. Okay, so you're taking rookies. You have to be ready for the learning curve.
7th round, 8th round. I take him.
Brooks. He might miss a couple of games in the beginning. I don't know if he will or not, but he's still going to have a learning curve. So why wouldn't you go and get last year's number 1 or Miles Sanders in round 16 instead of drafting a kicker?
Chuba Hubbard.
Get Chuba Hubbard in 14 instead of drafting another tight end. I mean, I don't I don't really understand why people do that. We played people who picked 3 tight ends.
Well, this is just the way I see it. I see that they're insecure with the tight ends because the tight ends are probably the weakest position that you're going to get points at.
I want to be able to leave my tight end spot blank and still win.
Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, and then we go into
Trey McBride.
Don't care.
But it goes down to probably six tight ends, and those are the ones you're confident in. Now, I'm not confident in my pick, and I got the 9th tight end, so I'm gonna get the 12th tight end because maybe he'll get it this year, and that's the only thing I can see that why they do that.
Okay,
I'm like you. I don't ever pick more than one tight end. And then when the bye week comes up, I just trade off somebody off my bench. And
I just start laughing when people start that run with tight ends because I'm like, I'll take Cade Otton in the 13th round, and I'm picking up everything you guys are skipping.
Yep. So,
well, I don't know. I feel a little differently.
Well, how do you feel, Chad?
Sam Laporta put up 150 fantasy points last year.
Yeah, but he was a sneaker.
I mean,
So-
but
You got to be willing to pay for it.
So let's talk about that, right? So let's talk about Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid. So look,
When they first hit the scene, all the newscasters, everybody, it's the year of the tight ends, tight ends, tight ends, tight ends. They were talking it up. Every one of them, the Green Bay tight ends, the Buffalo Bills tight ends, everybody that picked up these rookie tight ends, they were all going to be blowouts. Every one of them are going to just their rookie year, they were all going to just smash it. It didn't happen that way. You had Sam Laporta that came out. Dalton Kincaid did okay, but
you're older, but you had
Trey
McBride went off.
Yeah.
If you got a flex spot, if you have a flex spot and you say you spend on the number 27 pick is Sam Laporta, you missed out on Josh Jacobs, you missed out on Isaiah Pacheco, you missed out on Patrick Mahomes, Drake London, DK Metcalf.
Nobody missed out on Pat Mahomes.
Well, no,
somebody is picking Pat Mahomes. I don't want it to.
I'm saying according to ADP,
Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes,
tight ends. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
there's value in every position.
There is.
My value for a tight end, like I just said, I want to be able to leave that spot blank and still win. So I'm putting all my basket.
So I think our overall consensus about this is when somebody makes a mistake and they're wrong, take advantage.
Oh, take advantage.
But you like this goes back to knowing the rules. Hey, like a PPR, a tight end's way more valuable than a standard league.
Absolutely,
that's correct.
So know your rules. And this is why I'm flexible. Like if I'm in a standard league, you know what? I'm not risking that because I can pick Ferguson later on and he's going to catch a few touchdowns. I mean, Dallas is going to throw it to him in the red zone. This is where my homework comes in to play.
Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, look, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
He's going to get a couple.
He's going to get touchdowns. Mark Andrews is going to score touchdowns.
It's him and Zay Flowers.
That's it. That's the show. So you've got to know your rules. You got to know your rules, and then you got to know value. Look, 2 different leagues, 2 different values. And it's funny how Sam Laporta drops from here to here with just one rule.
That's it.
And
there's really only one tight end out there that I'm willing to spend on, that I'm willing to jump forward to get, and that's Kyle Pitts. The other ones I can wait on. I can wait on Njoku. I can wait on Otton. I can wait.
Right.
I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a weapon for that team this year. I think he's going to be dangerous.
So let's go exactly where Chad was talking about knowing your leagues, right? So and knowing what kind of point systems you're working with. Devontae Adams. Okay. That team is struggling in the quarterback area. Devontae Adams is a playmaker. Now, are they going to have a fantastic year? I do not foresee it. Is Devontae Adams going to get the ball over over and over? So his value to me in a PPR is way higher than it is in a standard league. Mm-hmm. I see that they do not get in the red zone way less than they would if they were not in a PPR league.
Yeah, know your risks. Know why.
I'm going to pass him up in round 2 because that's where he's going, unless I'm in a PPR league. I'm looking at him.
Statistically, he had more red zone looks. Second. I think CeeDee Lamb was first.
But they weren't in the red zone as much.
It's not only that, they just couldn't throw the ball. They didn't have nobody. They couldn't throw the ball. Jimmy G was too busy doing his hair, not throwing our boy the ball, and it suffered. He was probably the best wide receiver in the game. This quarterback did it to him, and quarterbacks make wide receivers make quarterbacks. Josh Allen was a running quarterback who struggled. Stephon Diggs came on the scene. Josh Allen became a top 5 quarterback. Stephon Diggs did Stephon Diggs things. Okay. Like, know what one player brings to your team and how it affects them. Like Gardner Minshew, like, we know what he is. Like, our wide receivers are going to suffer.
Yes.
No.
Malik Neighbors would be a completely different wide receiver. He's going in round, I believe, 5.
And that dude's got Jamar Chase talent.
Have y'all seen?
So he's going.
Have y'all seen Hard Knocks?
He's going in
one hand.
God,
he's going in round 5. Malik Neighbors going in round 5. You give him a different quarterback, he goes round 2 and 3. Easy.
Christian Kirk,
yeah,
wide receiver 31. He's the number 1.
Boy, that's value. That's a value pick right there where Christian Kirk's going. And that's stuff you should know. Y'all should know. Like, hey, Jacksonville's got a rookie too, Brian Thomas Jr. They're gonna have somebody.
Eventually he'll take.
Eventually he's gonna take over. Like, these are things that, like, you need to start studying, like, because these players affect. Malik Neighbors is gonna make Daniel Jones better.
Oh yeah.
I hate that running back situation they got over there. They suffered. They struggled running the ball with Saquon Barkley, and they got worse at the position. So I don't like that running back position in New York. He's still a number 1. You got to look at value. You can't say I'm not drafting him because Saquon couldn't do that.
But the thing is
you have to be flexible.
Okay, so and people go rogue again, like we're talking about. You got people who go quarterback round 1. You got people who go double tight ends. You got people who just do the weirdest things out there, and those are
defense in round 7.
That is your opportunity to win. So when you're in round 5, right, and DK Metcalf is still sitting there, and you're in round 5 because everybody else went nuts on, say, a tight end sprint, right? Somebody picked up Mark Andrews. Somebody picked up Tyrus Kelce. Somebody went for Sam Laporta. I mean, and it'd probably be Sam Laporta that'll kick it off. Sam Laporta, I got to get one. All that's going to do is move the best players you can take advantage of into an area in which their value is 10 times more valuable for you because you've already gotten your number 1 running backs, your number 1. If I'm able to pick, I don't know, let's see. Somebody goes, so Sam Laporta's going in round 2 in the middle of round 2. Okay, so they start picking Sam Laporta, and they go down this whole stint. And I picked up Kyrie Williams in round 2. But in round 3, when I come back, it comes back to me, and Nico Collins is still available because everybody went on a tight end sprint. I'm winning all day. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Let's just keep on going down the line. Let's say it happens just a little bit further down.
Round 7?
Yeah, round 7. I mean, there's so much more value there because people picked out of turn or picked something that wasn't of value because of scarcity, because of nerves, because you're going to see people freak out. Don't just like Joe and Chad are talking about, man, you're going to see. I remember exactly. It was one of Bradshaw's leagues. I was like pick number 9 or 10. I can't remember. And everybody from 1 to 9 picked a running back.
Was I in that league?
I don't remember.
I must have been the 10th guy because I will not.
Oh, no, I was 10.
Oh.
I was 10. But I'm sitting here looking at Justin Jefferson. I'm looking at the number 1 wide receivers, or I'm looking at running back number 10 or 15 or 20, and I was just like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I have to pick the number 1 wide receiver. I got to. There's no other choice because I'm in, and then I get a double pick. So, yes, I picked the number 1 wide receiver.
Snake it.
And then I turned around and I got me a decent running back, and I got another decent running back going down. But I would be an idiot not to go ahead and just go double running back right there and miss out on Justin Jefferson, who at the time, this is when he got 1,800 yards and all this that year. So
yeah, you pick for value, and don't just go buy a magazine and be like, oh, this ADP's here. An ADP on ESPN is a different ADP on Fantasy Pros. And ADP on that magazine is way different than my ADP. And you have to do like he said DK Metcalf. I don't like DK Metcalf this year. I like Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I like that offense they're going to run. Ben Grubb. See, this is things that you know.
You're in round 6 and DK Metcalf's there.
Is Jackson Smith and Jigba there?
No.
Why not? He should be.
No, I'm just saying in general.
No, then I'll take him, I guess. I'll see what else is there.
That's the point I'm making,
Yeah.
is that someone who is in an ADP position of 30, and it's round 5.
Yeah.
And so you should be in the 50s.
If the value's there, obviously.
The value, there's always value available. You just have to be able to.
You've got to be able. Like I know where DK Metcalf is on ESPN, and I know where he is for me. And me knowing about Ben Grubb's offense in Washington and what he's going to do there changes my risk reward. And that's my draft strategy. What's my risk reward for every pick in every round? Because you're going to have to make a few picks like that, like 9th, 10th. You're going to have to go a boom or bust. Mm-hmm. And if that boom pays off, you're probably going to win the league.
Trey McBride, tight end number 4. You pick him at
5th round? Round?
5th round. 5th round. Okay. You're leaving James Conner, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, Najee Harris, who I don't care about, so we won't even count him.
So you said
Raheem Mostert, DeAndre Swift. You're leaving all them on the table. Why would you do that?
It depends. Like I know why I would. And
so at that point, I have to have both of my wide receivers and both my running backs field.
Yeah,
and they have to be guys I'm happy with before I say Trey McBride.
And hopefully you picked. Hey, look. Hopefully you pick people who aren't injured. The best of ability is availability. Don't go your 3rd round and pick somebody who's missed 10 games the past 2 years.
I've seen it so many times. We're sitting at a table and we're drafting, and someone picks a player that got hurt in practice and he's out for the season, and we're looking at each other and they all go, okay. Yes.
Yeah, because we will not tell them until after the pick is made.
We write it down and we go, he's out for the season.
Yep. Once it's written on the board.
Gotcha, Hooker.
Yep.
Yeah. I do like, listen, I kind of like this. Like, I do like this. Like that 5th round to 6th round turn, if I'm a 12-team league and I'm like number 12 or I'm number 1, and I get to go ahead and do like a
double pick.
I might do a stack. Like I might do a Trey McBride, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's
like I know what I'm getting.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah,
I have no problem doing that.
I know what I'm getting. Hey, like that's safe.
Right.
Like, if I get ATN, I have no problem taking Lawrence. Yeah. I know everybody shies away from Lawrence. Man, Lawrence ain't going to do that again.
No, I don't think so. I think you just suffer from bad offensive line that got worse because of the season and everybody got hurt.
Yeah, and I can get Lawrence in the 10th round.
Yeah,
I think you can get him later.
Like I like stacks this year, and I don't ever like stacks. But there's just the top prolific offenses are like the Rams. I think the Cardinals are going to have a great offense this year.
Cincinnati
I think
Bengals.
The Bengals. Look,
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, boom, boom.
Oh gosh,
all day.
Dak and CD.
Higgins on a contract year. Oh man,
boy. So that's another thing you got to look at is contract. So you got guys who are about to sign their big contract the following year. This year they're going to show out.
Yeah,
they're going to want to get. Look what I did last year. I want more money.
Brandon Ayuk is not just playing for the 49ers and trying to win a championship. He's playing for his next check.
Every team.
Yep. He's going to try to prove to 31 teams
that he belongs on the Saints.
That he is better than most of those people.
I'll take him.
I'll take him. I'll take him.
Okay. All right. So I hope we helped you out today with our strategies. If there's anything you want us to talk about going in the forward, just comment in our comment section. Let us know what you were looking for. We're going to try to help you out a little more. Until next time, I'm Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
And the Cadillac.
And we're out.
Smashmouth Footballers. Support the SMF crew. Check out our new store. Get awesome high-quality t-shirts, tumblers, hats, and more. Help the crew go to the next level. Go to our YouTube, like, subscribe, and enjoy. Scan the QR code or go to https:/store.perfectfits.com/smash_mouth_footballers/shop/home. Smash Mouth Footballers.